right now.
Stella, stop. Quiet.
Cool. All right, I think we are all ready to go. And yeah, looks like we got everybody here. Sweet.
Yippee.
Excuse me. All right. Cool. So, last time we had hung out on the island of Darrow, taking care of business. And speaking of business, uh, the kind of mayor elect of Darrow, after some a chance encounter with someone who thinks they know the party, but actually didn't had the wrong idea. Um, kind of comes to a deal with the party and sends them out on a mission to, I mean, basically save a few missing kids? Question mark, because it's not 100% certain what happened. Though they know it has something to do with the odd creatures that have been attacking ships and stealing cargo and pretty much everything they can get their hands on and disappearing into the sea after leaving people hurt. Um, and the party, following the trail, finds themselves in the lair of a sea hag, which is the D&D name for it. I don't necessarily like the term sea hag, but you know what it is. What it is. And after defeating her pretty swiftly, actually, we find the party now here, having dug through, her various copious piles of trash, found some things to commandeer for their own, and we now stand here in her lair. Um, with that kind of recap, does anyone have any questions? Because it has been a hot minute since we played.
Mm-hmm.
I think I'm good.
We're
I
still in the lair.
I have a question about my bag of tricks.
Yes.
What color is it? Because it says that there's three tables of creatures that it could possibly be in the description, but it depends on the color of the bag.
Yes. I have it written down. Notes if things load.
Oh yeah, I did pick up some extra loot too.
You have the tan bag.
Tan bag. Okay, cool. I will try to remember that.
I think I can. Yes, I can. Yes, I customized it so it should say tan bag of tricks.
Okay, amazing. Thank you.
Yeah, of course. Um, so there were some minor rules things that we had discussed getting into. Um, I am not going to read them all immediately out, but instead I'm going to name the name of the options, and we can go through if anybody is interested in knowing what those options are. Um, First off, there's the climb onto a bigger creature option for actions. There is the disarm and mark options, as well as overrun, shove aside, and tumble. Uh, does anyone have any questions about any of those?
You said overrun?
Yes.
Okay, I wanted to make sure I heard that right. I'm pretty sure I understand what that means.
Yes. So when a creature tries to move through a hostile creature's space, the mover can try and force its way through by overrunning the hostile creature. As an action or bonus action, the mover makes a strength athletics check, contested by the creature's same check. The creature attempting the overrun has advantage if it's larger than the hostile, or disadvantage if it's smaller. And if you win, you can move through the creature's space once that turn.
Mm.
Laji, there is something that I think would interest you, and that's called the cleave through. When a melee attack reduces an undamaged creature to 0 hit points, any excess damage from that attack might carry over to another creature nearby. The attacker targets the attacker targets another creature within reach, and if the original attack roll can hit it, applies any remaining damage to it. So, say for example, you roll a 12 and on your damage, and that attack would hit the secondary goblin that's in front of you. The first goblin, who has 8 hit points, dies, and the second one takes the remaining 4.
Nice.
Yeah, so let's just keep those in mind. I will try and, bring those up when it seems like there's an opportunity for them, because it's hard to remember all of the rules,
Yeah.
All right. So, you guys have 2 scared little girls, having just watched you murder a witch in cold blood. She was doing nothing to harm anyone.
At the moment, she may not have been harming anyone. But...
I mean, she actively set an ambush for you, so
Yeah.
I was gonna say she was acting like a little girl and everything, so she may not have actively been hurting someone, but she's the reason these little girls are here.
Yep.
I was gonna say, but kidnapping.
For real.
Yeah.
Speaking of, you had known of 3 young girls and 1 older brother who had gone missing. There are only 2 girls here. You've taken the opportunity to search around the room. That's where you found the items that I handed out. But there doesn't seem to be any remnant of life around here. All you're really finding is rotting veggies and meat, and burst open sacks of grain and stagnating barrels of wine. There's no other sign of life around here, and there's no like that you can find at least doors or anything like that, except for the one tunnel that you came in through. How would you like to proceed?
Oh, should we ask the children about what happened to the others?
That's what I was gonna say.
I feel like the most innocent looking person should approach the children. Definitely not the giant, angry looking orc man, half orc.
I mean, I'm huge. I have tattoos all over my face. I don't know how they feel about me.
I think the easiest one is probably Bucky. The other one looks like a dragon.
I don't know,
Easiest on the eyes.
Bucky's also a pretty big, like, kind of built orcish looking guy too.
Oh, shit.
I mean, it all comes down to the rolls.
Yeah, fair. Who's got the best charisma, honestly?
Well, we have a bard and a paladin, so both are charisma.
Oh yeah, that is right. Forget that I roll off charisma as well.
Can I have a +1 to charisma? I can try.
Let's do it.
So I roll for it.
Well, like it depends. How do you address it? How do you go about it?
I would probably kind of walk towards them, but kind of crouch myself so I'm not so big compared to them. And then I would kneel in front of them and ask them if they are okay. And then I would ask them if they knew what happened to the others.
What you mean the others?
Didn't you guys have a brother? Yes.
Brother, no, we're both only children. Can we leave? Can we leave? This place is scary.
Was there not another boy here?
No, it was just us. She's kind of. You can tell she's holding back tears. She's very scared. So is the young girl behind her.
Okay.
They're kind of clinging to each other.
Let's get them out of here.
Yeah.
All right. So it is very easy to lead them up and out. Pretty straight path. Oops. Back out into the ship with Josephina, and in fact, excuse me, as you approach, lead these kids out to the opening of the cave mouth. It's a pretty decent drop. How do you want to go about? Do you want to let them climb down by themselves? Do you want to try and help them out? You tied a rope off, so they'll have advantage on their checks if however you want to go about it.
Would they be able to hold on to the back of any of us while we climb down?
Yeah, I think that's doable.
Cool.
I can take one.
I'll
What
take the
first
other.
one? No, I was gonna
Oh.
say I no, I was gonna say if we wanted to, I could roll dexterity, but it sounds like you guys already got it.
Well, then to make your way down, I would like Bucky and Eode to make a athletics check with advantage, and everyone else to make a flat, because having a child on your back gives you disadvantage, but the rope gives you advantage, so it equals.
Okay.
11.
I got a 12.
Luckily, Hikara,
17.
I got a 5.
um,
With advantage?
Yeah.
Oh no.
Yikes.
Yeah, my other one was a 4.
Oh no.
okay, so, Eode, you luckily only take 2 falling damage, because I rolled minimum on the dice roll.
Awesome.
As you slip and fall about 20 feet, landing on the beach below. The number to beat was 11, actually. It was a very difficult check. Josephina kind of wades out and holds her hand out to try and help you up. Oh man, are you okay, honey? That looked rough?
Yeah, I'll be okay. Just gotta shake it off.
Right. Wow, y'all really are something else. Hey there. She begins to chat with the kids a little, leads them back onto the boat. The swift sailor that you guys have almost directly to the shore. In these the waters around this island are odd in that, you know, usually islands are the beaches kind of fade into the water, make it where you can't, you know, it's too shallow to the waters directly up around this island are very deep. It's almost like this is a pillar of rock, this island is, instead of it being, you know, more like a hat shape, if that makes any sense, with the slope.
Merged.
Yeah.
Submerged mountain.
Alright, so Josephina gets these kids escorted on board, and she stops Hikara to ask, like, what went on in there? Y'all were in there for a little bit, and I heard some noises. I wasn't quite sure if I should. I mean, honestly, in 10 more minutes, I might have went up there and see what was going on.
Well, we went in, we found the kids, and fortunately had, did you call her a sea hag?
Yeah.
Okay. Would she know what that is?
I mean, Hikara probably wouldn't know what that is. Like, that's just the D&D technical term for it.
Okay. So
She's been called a witch. You know.
I guess I would call her a witch then, if I heard her say witch.
Yeah.
A witch was pretending to be one of the children, and we put a stop to her. And got the kids out of there.
She was pretending. What do you mean? Like she was waiting on you? She was ambushing you?
Yep.
So she knew you was coming.
Yep.
Right.
Somehow, some way, she knew you were coming.
Right. Well, I think we should not waste any more time. Get these kids going home. Get them home to their parents.
Josephina, I have a question for you.
Yes, sir.
Once the kids are calmed down, do you mind reassuring them and asking them how many kids were here with them. We were told 5. We only saw these 2 girls, and they claim that they were the only ones, but we don't know if they're just saying that because they're scared.
I can do. I'll definitely give us a few minutes then. We'll talk. We'll see what we can find out before we leave too soon.
Much appreciated. And Bucky bows and he takes his tricorn off.
He takes his tricorn off.
Yeah. Yes,
I
he
don't
did.
like that.
Okay. She says, "Yeah, give me 10 or 15 minutes. I'll see what I can figure out." Is there anything anyone would like? And she steps away, boarding the small sailor, and you can see her take the kids below deck to the first deck, and and not overhear what they're saying, but you can hear gently talking to them. And is there anything anyone would like to do in these last couple of minutes? Not that you need to. I just
Yeah, can I put my hat back on?
Yeah, of course.
Okay, yeah, that kind of scared me that you asked about it.
It would scare you even more if you knew what I knew.
So 10 or 15 minutes pass, and Josephina walks back out on deck, and she runs a hand through her hair. She says, "Well, so far as they know it, so far as they're telling me, they were the only. There were a couple of men that I think unfortunately were put down in front of them, but no other kids." I think they've seen a lot here, a lot more than they ever should have to see. And she kind of takes a deep breath and just turns and begins to prep to set sail.
So there's no other ways around this island or anything that we're seeing.
Let's say that again?
So, like, are there no other areas around here for us to search for?
You can search the island if you'd like. There's not really a whole lot of like space to move around in. This seems, it seems almost like a submerged mountain. Like there's a pillar shooting straight up out of the water. There's not really a whole lot of island per se. Most of the surface area is inside in the caves and tunnels and stuff and such. The one that you went in was the only one that was big enough to like walk into. There's maybe a few that you could crawl into, but like what you're looking at is basically a sheer rock wall of this like black, dark slate gray rock that's kind of riddled with holes all throughout.
Okay. I just didn't know if we would be able to search anywhere else to find the kids.
I mean, you can definitely make a search if you want. To the best of your, I'll tell you, to the best of your information, like, you have every right to believe that these 2 kids were the only kids that ended up here. Bless you.
Okay.
I just don't want to shoot you on a red herring that I didn't intend to make a red herring.
No, yeah, I get that.
But feel free to do whatever you want to do. Like, the world is your oyster.
I feel like if there's, like if we can really tell that these are the only two kids there, then we shouldn't worry about trying to search for the others.
Sounds good to me. So, Josephina, she has been kind of moving about the ship, preparing to lift anchor and such, and she looks around. And everyone ready to make their way back now?
Yeah.
Well, hoist the colors, pull the anchor, let's go, and crack to it. You guys are setting sail again. The two little girls are below deck. They are just kind of hanging out, trying to relax and not be traumatized. But they've been through some stuff, but they're handling okay. There's a little blonde girl who appears to be maybe 8, 9, 10 years old, and a little brunette girl who appears to be just a few years younger than that. There's not a huge gap in their age. The little brunette girl, she seems to be getting a little bit of a seasickness, and you guys are sailing for a few hours now, and it occurs to you, Bucky, that it was probably about a 3 or 4 hour trip out to this little quote unquote island. You should be seeing Darrow by now. The fact that you don't see it on the horizon is kind of concerning.
I do have a question, real quick.
Yes.
The fact that you mentioned the ambush and kind of hit on it a little harder than I am comfortable with. Would I have to make an intelligence check for Laji to put together that the fact that we were ambushed means they knew we were coming, means that someone else on the island that we were on would probably know and be in on it?
No, I feel like that's fair enough. Like even Josephina and Hikara, unless they were whispering, pretty much said as much. So.
Oh, okay. Cool. All right.
Yeah, I have a feeling I know what's up.
Mm-hmm.
And I have watched enough Scooby-Doo to know who it is.
What's the Scooby-Doo?
Me too.
No. So, do you act on this realization at all, Bucky?
Not right now.
Okay.
I'm not gonna make it seem like I know about it unless someone pulls me in private and talks about it.
Does anybody else know?
I'm getting to that. I'm sorry. I'm trying to find something
No, you're good.
in my notes. Why is everything freezing right now? So you were sailing, and you hit about the 4 hour mark. You definitely should have seen Darrow at this point. And it kind of dawns on Hikara as well, being a navigator. How do you feel about that?
I would probably want to take it Baji, Dode, and Bucky, because I figure Bucky would know, but I would want to take it to the others very quietly and ask if it's seeming weird to them as well. If something just doesn't seem.
Yeah, go for it. Is that how you like address the group?
Yeah.
So, Artie, Hakara comes to you all and with the realization that you've been traveling for longer than you should have. Hakara, you know that this isn't like a crazy big deal because this is the Feywilds. I mean, you guys had trouble finding Darrow in the first place, but that was before you knew where it was, you know?
Question.
Yes.
Can I roll a survival check to see if we have the correct heading? Like if we were given the correct information, just to see if it's just it's the seas like shifting.
Yes, you can. Go ahead and make that survival roll for me.
11 plus 5, 16.
With a 16, you get this feeling that you're lined up how you should be. You have the correct heading, everything is right, but you aren't where you should be according to that. You've done everything correctly, but somehow you're not where you're supposed to be. It is as you are, checking the headings and your compasses and gear, getting stock of where you are, that you notice a sudden shift in the atmosphere. There's a pressure in the air, and fog begins to roll in at a normal pace, but it's going for probably another hour or so, meaning that you're traveling 5-6 hours at this point. You're well past where you should have found your island. As time progresses on further, this fog just begins to pour in thick. You can't really tell where you are anymore. Not at a glance. You would have to make incredible survival checks or navigation based checks. I could allow arguing for certain types of checks. So yeah, at about the 6 hour mark, you're seeing 6.5 hour marks. You're seeing could cut through it with a knife fog, and you don't know which way is up anymore. Is there any action that you guys as a party would wish to take in regards to that?
Who exactly is at the helm?
I had assumed Bucky.
Yeah,
Okay.
Probably me.
Is there anything we can do?
I mean, honestly, not really a whole lot. Checking, keeping eyes on the horizons, making various checks.
It's a thick fog, but how high is it? We have a crow's nest, right?
Yes. I would say the crow's nest is probably about 25 feet up. This is a relatively small, quick sailing ship.
Okay.
What is everyone's passive perception?
14.
Me and Eo just said 14 at the same time.
Yeah.
And I think in a
Mine
very
be-
similar way.
Mine is 10.
12.
Okay, so Bucky and Eod, or excuse me, Hakara and Eod, there's something in the fog. You don't know exactly what, but you can tell that something feels wrong. Something's using this as a cover.
Can I do like a perception check or like a survival?
What kind of information are you looking to get?
Just to try and discern anything about what's in the fog.
Yeah, make an investigation at advantage.
Investigation. Okay. All right, an 18.
That's a good one.
Yeah, that's a really good one. Batten the fucking hatches because something is sailing directly towards you, and it's probably about the size of a galleon.
So is that large?
Yes, it's
Okay.
probably about 4 or 5 times as large as your current ship.
Yeah,
Right.
that's
You have maybe a minute to react.
Is there any way that like if, because you said Bucky's at the helm,
Yes.
is there any way that like Bucky can react in this amount of time to be able to miss the ship that's coming at us?
Yeah, if you want to give Bucky some callouts, there's a the ship is to your left, and it is kind of in front of you. It's kind of coming at you from the northwest. Yeah, from the northwest.
Okay. Hey Bucky, there's a ship coming at us.
Okay, so Bucky's gonna kind of look forward and squint, and then like open his eyes wide, like he's shocked. He's gonna start yanking the wheel as far to the right as he can, and he goes, "Laji, grab the sails! Josephina, keep the kids safe!"
At that, I need everybody to throw me some dice with initiative rolls.
right.
That's gonna.
An 18.
Nope. That's a 4.
Hold
Dirty
on.
20, 16 plus 4.
19 for Laji.
Damn, you guys got some good rolls today. Well, most of you do.
Kane, do you wanna explain how initiative is gonna work, or do you want me to?
Go ahead while I do the write downs.
Okay, cool. So, initiative in naval combat is going to kind of take place in 2 separate areas. The ships have their own initiative, as well as everyone on board. So,
Real quick,
When-
can I
once-
get who got a 20 or higher?
I got 20.
20. Okay, 15 to 19.
That'd be me.
Eod.
Okay, Eod, what did you get?
18.
And Laji?
19.
And then Hikari, you got a 4?
Yep.
Cool. Alright, continue, Bucky. Sorry.
Oh, you're good. So, we have 2 ships right now. Our 4 roles are going to be added together, and then however many crew members on that ship is going to be added together. And the higher role ship is going to go first. While that ship goes, it's the initiative that we just rolled. While there are no enemies aboard, we can move freely. So, for example, if Eod wanted to be the cannoneer, someone would need to use their action to load that cannon, and Eode would have to use the bonus action to aim and the action to fire the cannon. But if we weren't in range, I would have to go, or someone who was on the helm would have to go first. If someone was on board, that might be a little tricky. If last initiative was the helmsman, but because there are no enemies aboard, we can kind of move freely as one initiative unit on our ship.
Julio.
If that was too confusing and I need to like kind of re-explain it, I don't mind saying it differently.
Simple enough for me.
Your turn to do that. Do it.
Sorry, math. Math is mathing.
It does not do mine.
Definitely take your time, because with the ship combat, it's 2 initiatives, and then those initiatives have their own initiatives. So don't like I get it.
So, as this ship comes into clearer view, Josephina scrambles below deck, and you hear a latch slam down over the door, leading below deck, and this is a lot of people. Skipper fucking loves the camera. Okay, so I think I got the initiative order. Oh, I missed someone. Cool. All right. So you hear this kind of odd, like hissing, screeching sound as this, as one of you hear one of the cannons on the other ship fire.
And so it began.
Yes. And it goes wide. Bucky, you, your crew, your ship. It's y'all's ship. Y'all's turn as a ship.
Yeah, we particularly have no order right now.
Yes. So, Bucky would be first, but Bucky is captaining anyways right now.
Well, so question, we had turned hard starboard, so they're on our port side.
Yes.
Do we currently have cannon angle?
I think. Yes, I think so. Yeah. If I'm
Okay, so
imagining the motion in my head.
Okay, so I'm not gonna do anything right now with the wheel.
Cool. So next up in the ship order would be Laji.
Alright. How close to the other ship are we?
You cut it pretty close. You're like maybe 15 feet away. Like you can see on the other ship at this point. Which, by the way, I will say, since you can see on the other ship, there is a clearly who is the captain. He's this huge fucking dude, big pot belly, and he has a peg leg and has a sword and is using it to almost like a conductor to call orders. There are 2 kobolds on board, and there's a turtle and another human. And one of the kobolds is at the cannon, firing it, and the other one is helping to aim it.
Alright, cool.
Which, by the way, for those who don't know, kobolds are like lizard men who are like 2.5, 3 feet tall.
Okay.
Okay. So I want to use a spell, but I'm trying to think of what to do. Because I have something interesting. So the spell I want to use is Command.
Oh, interesting.
I want to use it on the captain of their ship who is at the helm. But I only get 1 word.
Correct. And it doesn't necessarily have to be one of the words in the spell, but...
Yeah, that's why I'm trying to think of what word to use.
May I suggest something?
Sure, go ahead.
Surrender.
You know what? Yeah. Okay. I'll take that.
Shit.
I swear to God, if you end this encounter with literally 1 word...
I need a wisdom save.
Oh, God. What is his stats? I don't think he's good at wisdom.
This is about to be fucking amazing.
I want his ship.
Do it. I can do it.
You gotta be shitting me.
No way!
He rolled a 4.
Yes.
He's got a +0.
He has to obey the command.
Even Claire laughed at that one.
So you hear you hear him call out suddenly what was a voice full of confidence, like he knew this was gonna be, he was gonna take your shit and sink you all, and it was getting up. All of a sudden, fly the white flag, surrender, leave, we're way outnumbered, we can't do this.
Oh my God.
What kind of love do you?
Are we letting him go?
I mean,
No,
it's
Maya.
not, they have stopped. They are full on, like the crew looks confused, but they're listening to their captain. The kobolds are like standing at an awkward distance away from the cannonball or cannon. Like, what?
And here I was gonna try and create water in their ship to sink it.
Oh,
Dude, that's epic.
we
is
all had a plan.
That is sick, and that actually does so much more than you know.
And then you get 2. I put in here, then you get 2.
I don't know what to do from here though. That was 1 action, so.
Yeah, I mean, next up in ship order would be Eode.
Yep. You can go ahead.
But I mean, like, they have surrendered. Like, we don't have to be in initiative order unless you guys want to be.
Let's keep the kids safe.
So then, in that case, are we attacking them still, or?
That's up to you. I wouldn't, but if Eode is still in fight mode, go for it.
Oh no,
What about your character?
I'm good with whatever we decide. I just didn't know where we had landed.
I really want that ship, but if they're surrendering and like turning away, pursuing them would just would put the girls back in danger.
I can't believe I did that.
I can't believe that worked.
Gotta love the fucking dice rolls, huh?
That's
Fucking
great.
4 to save. Jesus Christ.
You only needed a 12.
Yeah, well, a 12 doesn't. When you roll a 4 and have a 0 modifier.
Hold on, was he undead?
No, he's just human.
Okay, cool.
Well, what do you guys got planned for the next 40 minutes?
Legit.
I'm sorry.
Sorry. I'm sorry.
God, that's
I
fantastic.
would not have thought of that had you never said surrender. I was trying to make the dude jump off his ship. But I couldn't think of a word that would tell him exactly that, because if I would have just said jump, he could have just jumped in place. Dive.
Abandon. Abandon.
Either way. Yeah. That's funny. I'm sorry.
That's fucking fantastic, is what it is. I just didn't expect it. It kind of caught me off guard. That it worked is the thing.
Yeah.
I love it.
All right. Well, as he begins to give the retreat commands, you notice that the fog begins to dissipate very quickly, and their ship, unless you plan on stopping it, he just fucks off. They fuck off.
I feel like this should have repercussions later in the campaign.
Oh, we're feared. That guy's gonna go to his frickin' Bildrat Tavern, wherever all the pirates hang out, and he's gonna go, yo, if you find the Mozu out on sea, they'll shout at you, make you shit your pants, and you gotta run, man.
That's not Danny.
They'll just bully you and they'll give it up.
Yeah, well, like, I'm reading the spell's description, and I mean, like, I don't see. Fuck. Okay. All right. So as the fog dissipates, and you guys find yourselves, you never really left the correct heading. It's just some kind of effect prevented you from actually going the way that you needed to go. You see Darrow on the horizon and are very easily able to sail to port.
I feel bad now.
No. Have to rewrite
Completely.
everything. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah, you didn't have this far written out.
No, I just have to get to it because it's kind of in a different part. It's one of those things where it's like Yes, I had this prepared technically, but it's not. It's in a different part of my notes. There we go.
I will definitely be using command a little more sparingly.
No, it's a great fucking spell. If you just got to figure out the right words, like get creative with that shit. Wilmer is standing at the dock and is anxiously kind of toying with the head of his axe cane, along with a few sets of parents. And as you guys approach and offload these little girls, these two separate sets of parents, kind of fall all over themselves thanking you. And Wilmer, after letting them, say their part, steps forward and he says, "Can't thank you enough for what you've done for this little town here. We owe you the world. Saved our little world." He waves a hand at the parents, hugging and falling over their kids behind them. Stood at the end of the docks, though, is a familiar face. The guy who confronted, or at least attempted to confront Laji earlier, and he just kind of looks down and trods away, obviously kind of disappointed. And Wilmer says to you, noticing this, he says, "So, brother and sister weren't there, were they?"
If they were, we were too late to get them.
I fear that you weren't too late, that our other theories have come to fruition. Heard word from some of my fishermen that a captain known to, he's having a really hard time, talking about this. Someone that fraternizes with someone that we both know, and he looks at you, Laji, with a knowing glance. A Captain Jambe is in the area. He wouldn't be in the area if he weren't meeting with Redmayne. I think
Funny you say that.
I think Redmayne took that man's kids.
There. Put it in there. But you don't, it will be my time.
Clarification.
Yes.
That man.
The guy who confronted you, asking.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, I wanted to make sure. It's funny you mention a captain.
Oh.
We ran into a galleon on the sea, and I promptly told them to fuck off.
You mean you encountered a fully crewed pirate captain, and he left you alone because you told him to?
Can I want the
Yes.
I want the lyrics. Okay.
Bucky steps forward and kind of slaps Laji on the back, and he goes, "Yep, that's our boy."
You all are made made of a different out of a different cloth, huh?
Didn't even
Next
have
time we
fire
may have
in
to
him
kill
or a
them.
barrel.
Say again, Logi?
Next time we may have to kill them.
Next time. I don't know that they're.
It's an open sea, and we travel by boat. Only time will tell. Eventually, paths will cross again.
As you're having this conversation, you notice the man who accused you of having something to do with his children missing, approaching you with a bundle in his hand. It doesn't look. He doesn't look menacing or anything. He's just, you can tell that he's coming towards you as a group with a purpose, and he's holding like a burlap sack, slowly approaching. Wilmer continues to say, I may have misjudged you all. But truly darker things are coming to pass if we're correct. And if we are correct, I may have to ask you once again for one more favor. And the guy at this point has kind of reached speaking distance with you all, and in the one hand with the bundle, he has held off to his side. He holds out his other hand to you, Laji, and he looks you, kind of in the eyes, and he says, I owe you an apology. My name is Christian. Never introduced myself. You've proven you mean us no harm, but that doesn't change the fact that someone does, and I think my suspicions have come true. And if that's the case, he holds up the burlap sack and kind of shoves it against your chest, and he breaks a little bit. I beg of you, please do what you can to save them, because you know where they are.
As Laji grasps the sack around, he looks at the man and asks him, "You have a wife who yet lives?"
I do. She is distraught. She couldn't bring herself to leave home for the past week or so.
Do you have any other children that have not been taken?
No, just the two.
Then it would seem to me that neither you or your wife have anything left to lose.
That's why I've brought you that. And it's now that you kind of realize that in that bag there's coin, and it's probably all the coin that he owns.
You win, winner.
I would ask something else of you.
What would that be?
You have nothing else to lose, and you want your children back, whether they be alive or not. You at least want some sort of closure.
Right.
Come with us. Find it. Or die. I do not know what skills you possess, but the more hands, the better.
He looks up at you and he says, I was in Redmane's guard.
Good. Then you will fight him just as well as I.
He slowly begins to nod, and he says, "Today is the day I take back what Goran Redmane stole from me. I'll be back. I need to get my gear." And without a word, he leaves. Without another word, he leaves.
Hell yeah.
I'm out here recruiting motherfuckers.
Yeah, well, I mean, like, I feel like you did the paladin thing very well. The like call to arms. Honestly, that might have been something that someone else would have made you roll for, but I kind of feel like if you talk it good enough, you know, you got the thing. You appealed to the person, you know.
Great.
So, having left, Wilmer says to you, "Is that your plan then? Going to fight old Goran?"
I want to drink that.
It was my belief that the old man was dead because of actions that I set in motion. If he is not dead, then it is by proxy my fault. I must correct this.
Baby.
Well, to my understanding, he's not just
This baby tiny.
Oh God, why can't I name the Feywild Fey, the elves,
Eldrin.
Eldrin. He's got more than just Eldrin blood. He's tricky. You know, I wasn't as close to him as Christian was.
Which is precisely why I'm bringing him along. He'll know more.
Right. Well, you'll probably need this. And he reaches into his front shirt pocket and pulls out a folded piece of paper and opens it to hand you kind of a flyer almost. And where is I wrote down. I can't find that part of my notes, so I'm going to have to bring it. On this flyer, there's in the background, the text is kind of emblazoned over a kind of a symbol, like a Jolly Roger almost, a skull with elven ears and a shock of red hair surrounding it, like a lion's mane, and set in dark script over this image is a personal invitation to one Wilmer Wilmer the Unnamed to come and watch Redmane's Fights of Wonder. And he says to you, "He'll get these occasionally by bird."
Any idea which direction the bird comes from? They usually don't make turns.
Due north, but as long as you have that with you, you'll make your way there regardless of where you set out.
Perfect. Once we get there, I won't need this. It'll know I'm there.
Kicking down the door.
In fact, I may find myself fighting right alongside some of whatever he may have fighting in there. Do you know what sort of operation this is? Is he pitting slaves again? Is he just pitting willing members that want to fight and earn a name for themselves? Is he pitting his god against one another? What is it?
It's been a while, but my understanding is plucking people from where they belong and pitting them against each other. Randoms, essentially.
So holding this invitation would guarantee that he could pluck just me, right?
Well, no. That invitation will lead you to his fortress.
Perfect. That's where I can put on a show for him. One he might remember.
Well, he can't remember anything dead, right?
We'll see.
Sorry, her gas was perfectly timed.
Bucky kind of steps forward and he goes, I believe in the afterlife that we relive our greatest moments and our greatest defeats. This show will be one that will go on forever in his mind.
Beautiful.
You did it.
Wilmer says to you, "You know, Bucky, you're a interesting man. I'd like to share a drink with you."
Bucky kind of he nods and he goes, I'll be willing to pay anytime you're ready.
You're not paying for a drink as long as you're drinking here. Speaking of, take the night. Rest. You don't need to storm the castle on an empty stomach and a weary back.
Bucky holds out his hand and he goes to shake Wilmer's.
Wilmer, not expectantly, word I'm looking for. He takes your hand without hesitation.
Bucky kind of leans in and he goes, so, about that thing where we kind of work for you and then leave, can we kind of stay a while when we're done?
As long as there's room for you.
Bucky smiles.
I have a question for you, Wilmer.
I might have an answer.
What sort of men, and or women, or anyone in between, may you have guarding yourself in the village here?
He hefts his axe, kind of tossing it lightly and catching it this time, holding it more like you would hold a weapon. He says, make sure the young men know how to protect themselves and their own. But so far as guards, we don't really have any.
Bucky is gonna look at Laji, nod, and I'm gonna cast message to Wilmer, and I'm gonna say, the hag was expecting us. Someone knew that we were going there.
He, you see a look appear on his face as he's like confused as to why he's hearing your voice in his head, and also why he can because message allows you to respond, right?
Yes, and we did this before when the door closed. I sent him a message promising the kids back, and he responded.
That's right. Okay. He says, he replies back, well, one problem at a time. If she's dead, then that's all we can do for now.
Elaji stands there in silence, waiting for an answer.
I'm sorry, what was your question?
Oh,
I will. Bucky can message that to Loggy. Actually, question. You know how
Can you
we did
include
that?
multiple people?
Well, technically no, but you know how we did that like half orc blood ritual thing with Logi?
Ah, yeah.
Would we technically be able to like? Can I like radio
Communicate.
podcast a message?
What is the boon of the tribe?
I just want to note that Laji asked a question verbally and then was met with silence.
There's
I
no
just felt that was comedic.
There's no telepathic bond for it. What was Laji's question again? Sorry.
I just asked him what sort of men and women and anyone in between would he have to guard himself in the village.
Oh, he hefts his axe up and he says, we train the young men to protect themselves and their family as best we can, but
Oh, okay.
we don't really have guards per se.
Okay.
Or you tell. I did corn. And did
How
corn.
long do we plan on being in this village from this point?
And corn hurt.
Wilmer has basically extended an open invitation saying rest, leave, take as much time as you need before you leave. So that is completely up to the party.
Somebody dropped. Oh, EO dropped. Wonder if they're okay. Hello.
Um,
Oh. Wonder what happened.
They had a procedure today, and they're just wiped.
Okay.
Yeah. But I mean that's fine because I honestly was getting. This feels like a really good opportunity to start a wrap up, just because it's going to be a lot of go.
Yeah. The session should have been longer.
Yeah, I fully expected that ship combat to take like at least 20-25 minutes.
I'm sorry. I totally hijacked that. I'm
No,
so
that's
sorry.
fantastic.
No, you're good. So it's a fun mechanic.